welcome to the program. Our today's topic is different types of curricula and their relative merits and demerits. Dear students, we will get acquainted with the following objectives: to have an understanding about the meaning of curriculum, to get familiar with the different types of curriculum, to have a look over the merits and demerits of different types of curriculum. According to the history of education, the term curriculum was originally related to the concept of a course of studies followed by a pupil in a teaching institution. In recent decades, the concept of curriculum has evolved and gained an importance. Increasingly, it is used universally within the framework of globalization, the theory of pedagogy, and the sociology of education. Curriculum is one of the most important items in the education process. It is futile to talk of how and when to teach without first deciding what to teach. Thus, curriculum acts as a pivot in organizing educational effort on some manageable basis and is undoubtedly the heart of the school. Curriculum reflects the models of instructional delivery chosen and used. Some might indicate that curriculum could be categorized according to the common psychological classifications of the four families of learning theories: social, information processing, personalist, and behavioral. Longstreet and Shane have dubbed division in curriculum orientations as child-centered, society-centered, knowledge-centered, or eclectic. Common philosophical orientations of curriculum parallel those beliefs espoused by different philosophical orientations: idealism, realism, perennialism, essentialism, experimentalism, existentialism, constructivism, reconstructivism, and the like. Corresponding to the changes in educational system in our country or in the other countries, there have been changes in the concept and form of curriculum. As new system of education developed, as new psychological, philosophical, and sociological principles modified the educational process, new types of curriculum came into being. These types of curriculum are subject-centered or traditional curriculum, activity-centered curriculum, experience-centered curriculum, undifferentiated curriculum, and balanced or core curriculum. Now, dear students, we will discuss different types of curriculum. On the basis of aims and objectives of curriculum, subject matter teaching, and method adopted, curriculum may be classified into different types. Some of the major types of curriculum which have evolved in the course of time and ages are: first, subject-centered or traditional curriculum. It is written statement of the subject of study to be taught in a specific period of time. Each subject is a separate entity and its scope is clearly defined. The purpose of study is intellectual development of learners rather than on the values of studies for personal and social development. Now, merits of traditional curriculum. One of the advantages of the traditional approach is that students like it and it fits their idea. Traditional curriculum lends itself well to mass production. Publishers can produce workbooks that break down reading or math into sub-skills and processes, which students and teachers can easily navigate. It is efficient in a field in which resources for staff development is scant, while teachers can create their own material using a traditional list approach. They can also draw upon commercially or locally developed materials and methods. Volunteer tutors and adult-based education teachers without much training or time can easily teach from an existing curriculum. Commercially produced traditional curriculum and material via workbook or computers are widely available to learners who are interested in studying on their own. Now, demerits of traditional curriculum. Knowledge of different subjects is divided into watertight compartments, and no correlation is seen among different subjects. It is rigid and static. It does not take notice of conditions. The same facts are to be learned by all the students, irrespective of their taste, interest or capacity. This curriculum is prepared by a centralized authority and then it is imposed. It stresses repetition and memorization. The children mug up the subject matter for the sake of passing the examination, which is a test of mere production and memory. Second type of curriculum is activity-centered curriculum. This curriculum is based on the ideas of Rousseau, Froebel, Montessori and Dewey, which emphasize activity in the school rather than rote learning. In this type of curriculum, subject matter is translated in terms of activities and knowledge gained as an outgrowth and product of those activities. According to John Dewey, activity curriculum is a continuous stream of child's activities, unbroken by systematic subjects and springing from the interests and personality felt need of the child. Basic education scheme proposed by Gandhiji is based on activity-centered curriculum. Now, merits of activity-centered curriculum. Activity develops the constructive and creative urges of children and thus leads to full and all-round development of their personality. The Secondary Education Commission points out, the basis of teaching must be the organization of the subject matter into units of projects, which would create opportunities for self-activity on the part of the students. These should largely replace the formal lessons which lack proper motivation and therefore fail to arouse real interest. Activities also contribute to the social development of children. They do not depend upon the guidance of the teacher in every difficulty. They try to solve most of their difficulties and problems through mutual help. Kothari Commission 1964-66 introduced work experience as an integral part of the school education. Activity makes life dynamic. Education is preparation of dynamic life. So life is the byproduct of activities. Now, demerits of activity-centered curriculum. Activity curriculum attaches too much importance on activities. It neglects other activities which are needed for intellectual development of the child. It requires very competent teachers to select and plan suitable activities for the students. These are to be selected from various areas, keeping in view the type, needs, interests and age level of the pupils. An average teacher may not be able to organize judicious activity programs. Interests of the pupils may not be fulfilled because of time factor. Some activities may not suit different pupils because of individual differences. Abstract knowledge is neglected in activity curriculum. Now, next type is experience-centered curriculum. A curriculum which gives rich and varied experiences of knowledge, skills, attitudes and appreciation is called experience curriculum. In the words of John Dewey, experience is a matter of the interaction of organism with its environment. an environment that is human as well as physical, that includes the materials of tradition and institution as well as local surroundings. William James says, the only function that one experience can perform is to lead into another experience, and the only fulfillment we can speak of is the reaching of certain experienced end. Now, merits of experience-centered curriculum. Experience-centered curriculum is framed according to the psychological basis of education. The child gets direct experience when the information presented is live. It emerges out of group activities in which pupil shares his educational experiences and other children of his age. It creates a social environment and experiences, thus socialize the child and give him knowledge of the interdependence of man and community. It develops social qualities like cooperation, sympathy, love, belongingness to others. The teaching-learning situation is controlled and experience based on the needs and interests of the children is the surest means of effective learning. The education is provided according to the needs and necessities of the child. The child comes in direct contact with life situations. As the framers of the Varda scheme of education have pointed out, we have attempted to organize the subject matter into significant and comprehensive units of experience which, when mastered, will enable the child to understand his environment better and react to it more intelligently. Now, demerits of experience-centered curriculum. Experience curriculum is controlled and directed comparatively by all participants in the learning situation. It therefore cannot be centered exclusively in any one of the interacting factors. Curriculum cannot be altogether child-centered. All the factors operate in union, giving an wholesome total effect. Next type of curriculum is undifferentiated curriculum. This means the curriculum which does not aim at the specialized study of various subjects. It gives emphasis on the development of habits, skills and virtues. Integrated experiences help the students for their all-round development of their personality. It contains a certain amount of common knowledge and experience, essential for all children, without any consideration of their sex aptitude. Merits of undifferentiated curriculum. It teaches certain specific habits and skills through separate and isolated fields without any consideration of child's needs and interests. This curriculum combines in its fold all the good principles of various educational plans. The correlation, concentration, fusion and integration of studies all are grouped together. In this sense, basic education curriculum, which is primarily meant for elementary schools, is also undifferentiated to a great extent, because it also combines all these important principles at proper stages. This type of curriculum later leads to specialization to various technical, commercial, agricultural and administration fields. Demerits of undifferentiated curriculum. The undifferentiated curriculum is quite suitable for only primary and middle classes. It does not cater with the diverse interests and aptitudes of pupils of the age 14 or above. Here, everyone learns something of every subject, irrespective of one's interests and aptitudes. It is diffused curriculum. Now, the last type of curriculum is balanced or core curriculum. This curriculum is constructed by taking all the principles of construction into account. Such a curriculum includes all the aspects of human activities differentiated by age level of children. It caters to the needs of the child and society both. It helps in performing cultural and social functions of the education, and it makes the child visionary, creative, spontaneous and adaptive. In this type of curriculum, specialized knowledge and experience is given to the child progressively and approaches from general to particular, from first grade to the last. The purpose of this curriculum is to make a child a self-reliant adult in future. The basic education plan supports the premise that there is common core of knowledge and skills which every child should command when he or she graduates. According to the National Association of State Boards of Education 2003, a balanced curriculum is defined as a liberal arts education, an integrated curriculum, an enriched curriculum, a core curriculum or a standard course of study. Now, merits of balanced curriculum. A balanced curriculum reflects the philosophy and beliefs of educating the whole child to take an active role in constructing meaning from his or her experiences. The students to receive a balanced curriculum and possess the knowledge, skills and abilities to transfer and connect ideas and concepts across discipline are successful as measured by standardized tests as well as other indicators of student success. It is not one-dimensional, it addresses all aspects of child's development from kindergarten through high school. Balanced curriculum challenges students in all areas of learning and allows the opportunity to demonstrate their knowledge in a variety of ways. Now, demerits of balanced curriculum. It is impossible for any one teacher to deliver all areas and meet the instructional needs of all students. With the emphasis on accountability at state and national levels, many teachers and administrators feel pressure to spend time preparing students to perform well on mandate tests. Now, dear students, let us conclude. Curriculum is a sophisticated process requiring the cooperation of students, teachers, administrators and all those who are concerned with education. Accountability in education demands its sequence practice. When preparing for curriculum, teachers must be cognizant of articulation and balance in curriculum and knowledgeable about reliable instrumentation for both formative and summative evaluation scheme. The important idea for the teacher to keep in mind is that innovative practices have evolved in the attempt to provide individualized learning for all students. This demand for individualization will continue in the foreseeable future, and the teacher must be knowledgeable about a variety of individual learning practices if demand is to be met. Since society had become increasingly fragmented with the increased emphasis on science and technology, they felt that the only logical approach for developing societal values and social vision was through a core pattern of organization. Dear students, that was all for today. Hope you have understood. Have a nice time. Goodbye.